everybody. Dina Eisenberg, your outsourcing queen here for day 4. Well, first, I just want to say how proud I am of you. Congratulations for completing day 3, looking at your limiting beliefs. It's always tough to look at that information and really decide you want to make a change and let go of beliefs that don't serve you anymore. So I'm appreciating you, and I hope that you're taking a minute to really appreciate yourself too, because most people won't do that. So give yourself a little pat on the back. You know, I hope you're ready to take the next step, which is really looking at your first day's work, the worksheet, and then comparing that to your second day's worksheet to make sure that everything that you want to change makes it into your final plan for your vision. You know, your inner critic, sometimes called your lizard brain, I call mine my inner bitch, is really there to protect you. Her job is to make sure that you don't get harmed, and she takes her job very, very seriously. She will stop you from doing whatever it is that she thinks is going to get you in trouble, get you hurt, put you in a situation that you don't want to be in. So I'm betting that when I asked you to write down the biggest vision that you could possibly have for your life and your law practice without any restraints, no obstacles about money, time, or talent, and that you did that, she went, oh, hell no, we're not having it. And she decided that she was going to maybe move some things off your list or hide them from you or make you forget what you wanted. And you've experienced your inner critic doing this before in life. If you've ever had a great intake conversation with a potential client and somehow didn't mention your rate or that you'd actually like to work with them, maybe there was an amazing opportunity that came up that was big, but also a little scary. You were excited, but you were doubtful. And she just decided, oh no, we're not doing that. So you completely forgot about the deadline or you didn't follow up with the person and you missed that opportunity. That's your inner critic protecting you. So I just want to make sure that you have a moment to look back at your first worksheet and identify all the things you didn't like. Look at your damn it list again and look specifically at the things that you don't want to do anymore. Look at the things that you dread doing so that all that information can be filtered when you're putting it all together and making the plan to transform your law practice from where it is now to what you want it to be. She will definitely be trying to get in there and goof you up. So I just wanted to give you the high sign to make sure that you look out for that. So that's part of your assignment for today. We're really interested in having you take the next step because now that you have this information, you need to use it. Information for information's sake is just wasteful. You need to take inspired action. But I know that that can be hard, and you might want to put that off until you have more time, feel more sure, gather the resources. I get that. Did you know there's such a thing called aboutism? Yep, that is a thing. What it is when you get everything lined up, you get all the tools, the information that you need to take the next step, and you're absolutely ready. You're about to be big, but then you don't. You don't take the next step, and you stay in that about space. Now, why would somebody do that? Well, staying in the about space is hopeful. It's joyful. It makes you feel good. Makes you feel accomplished because you've gathered up all this information. Taking the next step can be scary, right? So lots of times we want to stay in that about space and not take the next step. But I want to remind you how important it is to actually go ahead and take that step. Why? Tomorrow is not promised, my friend. You need to take this step now. The universe reminded me this morning to tell you a story that I don't often tell in public, but I want to share it with you now because it's just that important. One morning I woke up and my hair hurt. Now, that seems really funny. It always makes me laugh when I say it, but my scalp hurt so much to touch that I actually went to the doctor. And my doctor said, hey, you know what? You're just overstressed. You've been working really hard. Your business is going well, and you've been really grinding it. You need a vacation. And that made sense to me. So I went on a cruise. I love cruising. I've been on about 5 of them. And usually they totally relax me, and it's great. Well, midway through the cruise, I started itching. I mean, full body itching from my head to my toes, and in places you really don't want to be itching. I itched the entire day, and it's so much so that I stopped leaving my cabin and I stayed in because I couldn't stop scratching. Of course, now it reminds me, and I scratch now. And so, I planned to go to the doctor when I got back. And before I could do that, I woke up one morning and I couldn't see out of my right eye. Everything was blurry. That totally freaked me out. I ran to the doctor. We started doing tests. I had a gajillion MRIs. And what they discovered was I had MS, multiple sclerosis. It is an autoimmune disease that impacts your central nervous system, and it changes the way you live life. Some people lose the ability to speak or to walk. Some people never recover. There's no cure to this illness. Some folks become progressively worse. I was very lucky that I have lapsing and relapsing. So that means that I am slowly progressing towards the worst stages, but I also get the opportunity to have remissions. And I've been in remission for about 8 years. And I plan to stay that way because when I was fully in the disease, I lost the ability to do so many things. On a given day, I never knew what it was going to be like. Some days I woke up and I couldn't get out of bed because just the act of lifting my head was too much. I was too tired. I was homebound for 18 months because I suffered from vertigo. And at any given moment, I could hear a sound and lose my balance and then be unable to walk or drive or function at all until I was able to get home and rest my body. And so knowing that every day that I have that I can function fully and do the things I want to do in the world is a gift means I try not to waste my days. I try to make sure that I'm doing 2 things, doing the things that I want to do and resting and taking care of myself. So I tell you this story because it's a hopeful one, because I want you to actually take action now. Don't wait. Tomorrow is not promised. You never know what's around the corner, and that's been proven to me time and time again. So for this assignment, what I want you to do is look at your damn it list and look at the things that you want to stop doing. And then pick one thing, just one thing, a baby step, one thing that you're going to stop doing now, that you're going to investigate outsourcing, and that you're going to find either a virtual assistant or somebody else who can take that off your plate. You're going to invest the time to teach that person how to do the task exactly the same way that you would do it and write up task legends so they don't have to come back to you if they have questions. They can read the legend, which explains the story of the task, how they're supposed to do it, what they're not supposed to do, and the rationale about why it is important. Those are the next steps I want you to take, but it starts with the very first baby step, identifying one thing that you're going to start outsourcing and beginning to figure out the pieces of getting that done. And when you bring your responses to the Facebook group, I'll be able to help you and give you resources about how to outsource that particular task. So don't forget to drop your responses in the Facebook group because 1, I'll be able to give you feedback and resources. And 2, the thing that you pick to outsource is going to inspire somebody else to start outsourcing too. Very excited for you. This is the last day of the lessons. Tomorrow we'll be doing the full recap, and you'll be able to go back and catch up on any lessons that you might not have caught up on. You'll be able to drop all your responses in the Facebook group. And then I'll be able to tell you more about the very next step that we can take together, the dip. And I'm excited to tell you about it because it's an event that's really going to set you up to have the life and the law practice that you always wanted. So this is Dina Eisenberg saying, be intentional.